Okay, you're right. Welcome to your video tutorial looking at linear patterns. Now, you might be able to guess from this word linear, it has the word line in it. Today we're going to be looking at the Cartesian plane and how we can create a pattern with lines. How's that going to work? Let's have a look. When you plot a set of points and a pattern is formed, the coordinates of each point may have a same relationship between the x and the y-axis. So last lesson we were looking at plotting different points on a Cartesian plane. Today we're going to look at ones that have a relationship between the x and the y-axis. For example, the points x1, y2, x2, y3, x3, y4, x4, 1, 5 have the same relationship, or we call it actually when we're looking at Cartesian planes, we call them, they have the same rule. Okay, it's this word rule between their x and their y values. If you look closely at these numbers here, so 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, you can see a pattern. And the pattern is that the y value is always one more than the x value. Okay, and if I was to actually plot those points, they would go up in a straight line. So if we plot, if we plot these points on a Cartesian plane, they make a pattern. And by a pattern, the pattern that they're making is a straight line. Okay, so it's a line that goes up like this. Okay, we call this by a particular name. It's called a linear pattern. Okay, as soon as anything's forming a line, it's called a linear pattern. And today we're going to look at the different ways in which we can plot them. So it says plot the following points on a Cartesian plane, and I've been given them. Okay, so I start at -2. So when I'm finding points, I always start here in the middle at 0. I do my x-axis. Okay, so it goes to -2, which means it's going to be at this point on my x-axis, and then on my y-axis it's at 1. So -2, and then I go up to the y-axis on 1. And I'm going to pop my little point in there. -2, 1 is there. Okay. -1, 2 is here. Sorry, I did a little line there. I wasn't meant to. 0 on the x-axis, 3 is up here. Okay. 1 on the x-axis, 4 is up there. Okay. 2 on the x-axis, 5 is right at the top. And you will notice that they form a line. Now, the important thing that we need to do is when we draw dots and they form a line, is we actually have to draw a line connecting all of them. You must draw this with a ruler. Now, on Explain Everything, the app I use to make this tutorial, I don't have a ruler function, okay? But you must, once you've joined all the points up, get your ruler and rule a line through it. So if we're to plot these points, now I've been giving you this thing on this left-hand side, which looks like a table, okay? I call this guy a table. Well, that's funny writing, of values, okay? This is called a table of values below. And I might be sometimes just given the points like I was in the previous question, or I'll be given a table. Now in this table, this first thing says, okay, these are my x coordinates, these are my y coordinates, and they marry up this way. So when x is -2, y is 0. When x is -1, y is 1. When x is 0, y is 2. When x is 1, y is 3. They're in a relationship going down. Now, sorry, they would usually all be filled here as well, but in these boxes here, I'd had different values that weren't on my Cartesian plane, so I had to exclude them. So if we're asked to plot these points, I start with this guy here. Now, it's x -2, so that's that point there, and y 0. Now, y 0 is 0 and x on the y-axis is this point here. Okay, so -2, 0 is going to be this little guy in here. Okay, that's a bit of a dodgy point. Please make them small. I just didn't make it very well. X -1, y +1 is going to be there because I went to -1 on the x-axis, +1 on the y, and it went in there. Okay, 0, 2 is going to be in here. 1, 3 is going to be in here. Okay, and again, we get out our ruler and we draw a line all the way through them. Okay, so when we're forming linear patterns, we always need to make sure I put my points in really clearly and succinctly, and then I draw a line through them. And that's it, guys. That's plotting using points and tables of values.